Good morning. Welcome to Kathy's Cute Creations. I just did this and somehow it didn't record, so I'm doing it again. So last week we made candy blocks, which I thought was fun, and this week we're going to make Christmas packages. So that'll be fun. And I'm trying to think if I made a package before. I think I did, but not quite like this package. So you'll have 2 papers to download. This is the first one, and this is week 4, by the way, of the homemade holiday mystery quilt. Your block will look like that. So that's the first page. Your second page you're going to download is going to look like this. And then this is just a sheet that shows all the fabric and everything because I don't mark it. All right, and I'll show you my fabric in case you just joined. And this is the first video you're watching. I've changed out my background for the green, if you bought the kit, to blue. Okay, let's take a look. Here we go. I've got all of this week only laid out on this little design board. And we're going to start. And what I do, just in case, like I said, you're new and you're not quite sure what's going on, I take my paper before I put this on my design board. I just take what it says, I pull it out of my stash because I have them all, my fabrics are cut up and they're all sitting on a larger design board. So I break it down into weeks. So for this week, I went through the sheet and I just pulled all these different ones out and laid them out. Then I went to my second sheet because 2 different sheets have 2 different amounts on it. And then I went and put all of these down. Now they're not in order, I just laid them on my design board here. Alrighty, so the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make our flying geese. You're going to take your 4.5 by 2.5 inch pieces of A. Alrighty, and this is what the wings and the nose is going to be. You're going to take 2.5 by 2.5 inch. We're going to mark the back side because when we put this on each corner, we're going to fold it back like that. Get my other fabric here. And then when we get done, I'm going to go ahead and pin this just to give you an example. So that one will be done. And then you'll take this one, you'll lay it like that. After you've ironed this and cut off the excess, then you'll sew that one and fold it like that, and you end up with a flying geese, just like that. And then we're going to take the A 4.5 by 2.5, I'm going to put 1 on each side like this, and we're going to make 2 units. Okay, so that's the first thing we're doing. Now this is the top part with the bow, that's what this is, of our box. So I'm only going to make 1 each because you guys can go ahead and change stitch yours, but I'm just going to make the 1 so we can see it. Also, don't forget, you're going to take the wrong side of your 2.5 inch squares and you're going to go ahead and mark them so that you have a sewing line, unless you have a beam of light or something on your machine. Okay, and I'm just going to sew it. Now you know that when I put this down, what I always do, and you want to put this, let's go like this so you can see, it's easier to see it this way. So what you want to do is lay your fabric so that a corner has your marking on it, but you want to begin to sew here because this could jam into your machine, so you always use this side. And because I'm going to be sewing it so that it looks like this, I'm going to be watching and sew on the left side of my line, not directly across my line, but stay over to the left of it, which will get it down the line. It's just that if you try to go down that straight line, next thing you know, you'll be wiggly and you'll be off to the right, and you want to stay to the left part. Okay, all right, so remember, I'm staying towards the left here. Just take your time. Now remember, if you're a person who does starching, you want to go ahead and get that done before you sew this. And sew it the same way every time. Now we have it sewn, so what we want to do is we want to take our ruler, and I use this one. If you use a small ruler, please be careful and don't put your fingers over the ruler like this or you will cut your fingers. So I line it up on the 1/4 inch line on my sewing line, and then I just go ahead and I take the excess material off. And now we're going to go to the sewing machine and I'm going to iron it open just like that before I sew my next section on. So I'm not pinning mine, but if you need to, by all means, go ahead. And I'm starting up here at the top, which is the thickest fabric, because you know I don't want to start it here at the bottom because I don't want this to accidentally jam inside my machine. And I keep forgetting that my pedal, I have 2 pedals on my machine, and my second pedal is actually trying to think. I have it so that it actually cuts my thread, so I gotta keep that in my mind because I keep forgetting and I reach up and cut it with the thread cutter up here. But it can do different things. You can have your foot either cut your thread, lift your needle, or lift your foot, so it can do 3 different things. And I have it right now cutting my thread, so I don't have to reach up and amongst any of that stuff. And all I got to do is push my foot on it. It automatically cut the thread for me. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set my foot to come up when I'm done sewing. So when I do the next section, I'm going to show you the side, which you guys already know how to do this, but I'll show it to you so you can see how this lifts up and what I'm talking about. This is what you have so far. Alrighty, and don't worry about that phone ring in the background. That's my landline. I don't ever answer it. I always let it take messages. And you know, they got all these different insurance things going on now, so that's what I constantly get calls. And of course, you know, you occasionally get that car warranty call. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and I'm going to show you here on my machine. So these are the dials I was talking to you about. And once you highlight it like that, well, maybe I got to highlight it. There we go. So you see that it got highlighted or it got dark lighted, whatever you want to call it. That is telling the machine that every time I stop sewing, that it is to lift up my foot automatically. Okay, and this is the return right here if you want to do that. And then the scissors, which would cut it. But I don't need it to cut because, you know, I've got that connected with the foot pedal. And I don't want it to be going backwards either. All I want to do is lift it, have it lift my foot, and then I don't have to lift the foot myself. And up here is where you can either lift the foot, cut it with the scissors, or take the needle and go up or down with it, and this is your backup. So that's the way mine went. And then this is the threader. And then this is the turtle to the left and the hare, which is what they call it. It's slower or faster. I always keep it in the middle. If it's too fast with this table that I have, which is just a regular, this is one of those tables that you can now get at Sam's. It's one of those great big huge long ones. See? All right. So it will literally vibrate if I have that too fast. So let's go ahead and sew this right here, which is the right hand side, and then we'll sew the left hand side, and then we'll have the top of our Christmas box or package, whatever you want to call it. Now, I've never heard of it at this point, but I'm just now thinking about it. You know, usually when you have software that you use for like work or something, they'll tell you that if you have ideas to that you would want in the software that you're using, that you can actually tell them, and then they'll send it on to the designers and all that, or the programmers, or whoever it is. I have never seen a place that says if you want something specific on your sewing machine, add it to it, like the new ones that come out, to give us a call or put it on our website or whatever, and then they could figure it out. Because I'm sure that somebody, whether it was somebody that sewed or somebody that knew somebody that sewed, because most sewing machines are, I think they were created by men. I can't swear to it. Y'all can tell me if a woman invented them, but I think a guy invented them. And I don't know now if women invent them or if they're making suggestions as to the things that they want that they use the most, because all these things here on mine, I actually use the most. And it was a fantastic items that came on this. I guess there's not items, but you know what I mean, guys. So I think whoever invented the sewing machine and added, I mean, at the very beginning, the first thing I think that was added was, I'm not going to go all the way to the very first thing, because the very first thing actually would have been probably the reverse option. But since then, the needle up, needle down thing, I think that's wonderful. Let me go ahead and cut this, and you saw that the foot came up, but the foot will go down when it wants to cut it and come back up. There you go, and that's it. So now I'm going to show you what it looks like, and you should have 2 of them done because you're going to do 2 of these. All right, so there we have our 2 for the top of the package, which is just like the picture, and now we're going to do the next one. I have the next step laid out. You're going to take your 3.5 by 4.5. 4.5 is the long ways of the, well, in this case, the red polka dot, which is your G. And then you're going to use your 5 by 4.5. So the 5 is the long ways and the 4.5 is this way. And then you're going to go and attach it to your, what is this, 2.5 by 4.5, the green. Okay, so let's put them together, and we're going to make 4 of those. Alrighty, so as you can see, I'm on the last one of this. I'm just chain stitching. You guys do the same thing because I want to have all 4 of mine done. Then when I'm finished, I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to open them. I'm going to go ahead and sew the other one on the other side of the green. Now, there's no right or wrong way. You can either do this, the red on the green or the green on the red. It doesn't make any difference. But if you want it to iron and press a certain way, then you're going to want to make a difference. I don't care either way. I'm just going to press them open when I'm done. So go ahead and finish all yours. You want to put your flying geese with the nose up at the top. Now, if you want it to be perfect, then take this fabric here, fold it in half, put a little crease right there so you know what's the middle, which is right here, and put it right there. And then I will pin it before I pin each end. And I'll sew it on this end because I don't want to lose that tip, even on a package. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mark it. I got to get another pin though because the blue one's not going to work. Let's see if I got enough red in this here. Yes, I do. Okay. You're just marking it so that you can stay on the line when you sew it so that you don't take the tip off the package. Okay? If you take it off, you know, you can always put something, a little patch, which is actually applique, over the top of it, you know. So it's going to be up to you because it's your quilt. You can put little streamers on it too from this end here. So just letting you know. And now I'll go to the right and the left and I'll attach those with the pin it, and then I'll sew it. Let's go ahead and sew this on. This is the top portion. Now the smallest part, when I say the smallest part, this top section, okay, is smaller than the bottom. If you get it turned upside down, it's not going to make that big of a deal, I don't think. But if you're going to want to be, I wouldn't say perfect about it, but if you want it to be exactly like they're showing, then you want to make it so that the smaller one is at the top and the bigger one's at the bottom. You'll see here when I'm finished, but you can also see it on your paperwork. You'll be able to tell. So today is actually Wednesday before the Monday that this video goes up. I'm just letting you know. And for anybody that's following along with the elevator girl, we got a little bonus today in our reading. And I'm going to tell you what, I did not guess who did it. Oh my gosh, of all those characters, I did not think and I'm not going to say who did it in case you haven't read it yet. I am not. Well, hopefully you've read it because it'll be gone by the time this video comes up on Monday. I did not, for the life of me, and I don't know how I missed it. So I am going to go ahead and say it, but I did not realize that the cop did it. I mean, I can understand the first stab was a mistake, but I just don't understand the rest of it until he actually talks to the police and confesses and tells his story and all that. So, I don't know. I'm kind of wondering, and I don't know if this can happen, if she can change time based on the reading of today. I don't want to go into too much of it because this is actually Fort Worth Fabric Studios. This is not about a book, okay? And I don't want to be talking about that book on this video. But, and I'm trying to think, what is my next video? I do have month 5. I can talk about it during that other video, but let's go ahead and I'm going to sew this. I'm going to iron this open so you can see it. We'll finish the second one like this, and then we'll do the other boxes. But you guys are going to do that. I'm not going to do it on camera. I'm going to do it off camera. All right, so let me get this ironed. Okay, there is that pretty little box. That's a cute little package. But this is what I was talking about. Let me show you. So this here is smaller than this here, and that's what I was talking about before. You want to make sure you put it together correctly, okay? Alrighty, so let's get them all done, and then I'll show them to you when I get back. Okay, they're all done. There are the 2 final boxes. You're going to end up with 1 strip at the top and 1 strip at the bottom. Now, don't accidentally put them both at the top or both at the bottom, all right? There's no matching up. All I did was I made sure I marked my tips before I attached them so I wouldn't lose the tip of my flying geese. Same with this one. Always mark. You'll never lose it. And it was easy to sew these because there was no matching at all. So that's what they look like. So you'll have 2 like that and then 1 each of this. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video, and I will see you next week. And next week's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but we're going to take our time and we're going to get it done for all the newbies out there, okay? And you can always make one on a test if you're unsure of yourself. Keep that in mind, all right? And you can always baste it also. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. You can give it a thumbs up if you'd like. You can make a comment. I really, really like the colors in this. I'd love to see your colors when you get yours done. So make sure that you put them on the Fort Worth Fabric Studio Facebook, or you can put them up on my Facebook too. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye, everybody. Take care. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.